Hi there, my name is Diane, but you can just call me Dee. In today's video, we're gonna be doing part 2 of the series that I've done, which is to look at the books I've read on Goodreads and to see which ones were the highest rated and the lowest rated. So I've already done the video that is the worst books according to Goodreads that I've read, but today we're gonna be doing something a bit more positive, although I thought it was really fun. We're gonna look at the books that I read that are the best books according to Goodreads. I am honestly a little bit scared about this just because I've read a lot of books that are hyped and really popular that I really disliked. So I do have some ideas of what books or at least what authors are gonna be here, but you know, anyway, let's just get into it. Alright, so let's sort it by average rating to the highest, and I think without being surprised, the first one is gonna be a Harry Potter. It's fine, we can just gloss over this. Okay, so the next one, why do I have it twice? Are those different editions? Did I read it twice? Oh yeah, they are different editions. I don't know. Anyway, so the first one is obviously gonna be a Sarah J Maas book. I was expecting this. So this one is A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm not shocked that this is the... Why would I... Oh, you know what happened is that I must have rated it 3 stars and I reread it and I really disliked it, and rated it 2 stars. I think I was probably quite generous at the beginning. I think most of us usually tend to. So I'm not surprised at all, but I really disliked this book. I think really nowadays a 2 star for the whole series would make sense. I just don't like Sarah J Maas's writing, so I'm not going to continue reading her books because I've figured it out. She's not an author for me. I just don't like the way she tells things, but I do understand why it's appealing to a lot of people. Like, her reading is easy to get through for sure. I mean, her plots are nothing crazy, so it's also fantasy, so it's nice to get into such a fantasy that is easy to read. But for me, it's just not doing it. So, but I understand why people love it so much. It's just that it doesn't work for me at all. So I've read a few of hers. I think I've read her first series, like the first 2 books, and then I read this series, the first 2, and I was just done with this. So I'm not continuing in any of her other books. Okay, so then we have Heartstopper Volume 2. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean... Heartstopper, I love it. I love the show. I love the books. I think it's a great story. I think it's a very hopeful queer story. The book is more centered around Nick and Charlie, the 2 main characters, whereas in the TV show we see a little bit more of the secondary characters, which I think it's really well done. So I enjoyed both. I think they both really bring something important. They have a strong message, but it has also like deep topics, and nothing is perfect. It's just how to get through those moments and those situations, and I really enjoy that type of storytelling, because nothing is ever perfect, but it's nice to know that you're gonna be okay and you're gonna have people around you that love you for who you are. So the next ones are Harry Potter's. We're just gonna skip. And then we have Heartstopper Volume 1. Okay, I see, yeah. And then we have 6 of Crows. Okay. So this is also Leigh Bardugo. I was also expecting to see her books on here. I did read her whole first trilogy, the Grishaverse trilogy. Like Shadow and Bones and all that stuff. I think now they made a TV show out of it. I wanted to read the book and do a TV show and do a comparison, but I just ended up disliking this series. So I would say that 6 of Crows was better for sure. but I think I just read it when I was too old, so I don't have this nostalgia, but I do understand why people like it a lot. It's just that I just couldn't connect really to the story and to the characters. I think it was too hyped as well, and I usually think, oh my gosh, it's so hyped. And because it was so hyped, sometimes like I'm expecting so much of a book that when I read it, it's like, oh, okay, I mean, it was fine, but I thought it was going to be way more of this or way more of that because people are talking so much about it, you know? But I did enjoy Six of Crows way better than at the Grishaverse. I wanted to finish the duology, but I did not, because I think by the time I got Kingdom, the second book, I just didn't care. I just didn't care about the story. I think Six of Crows was fine on its own. It is what it is. Okay, and then we have The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. Okay, so as you can see, I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I think this is probably the only book that I've read because of the hype that is actually a book that I really loved. So that's funny. It's probably, honestly, I think it's the only book. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this book. A hyped book is always too hyped for what it is. Like, I think just because it's so widely spread that you think this is amazing, but like a book can only do so much, you know? So even though this one was fantastic, I think it had some areas where it lacked. I definitely think that the relationship is really cute and wholesome, but I think we don't see as much as is being hyped. But I did really enjoy the children and the different voices in there. I think they were all their own persons and their own characters. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I probably should, you know, get the book because I truly feel this is a book I would enjoy rereading. So I do have his next book, but not this one. Okay. Then we have a manga, which is Orange 2. I enjoyed mangas. I enjoyed Orange. I think I never finished it because I could never get the next volume. I read volume 1, 2. Did I read volume 3? I can't remember. But I could never get the next volume after that at my library, so I didn't continue. I was enjoying it, but there's definitely, from what I remember, there's definitely okay, so it's handling suicide, and I think sometimes from what I was reading, I didn't finish it, so I don't know if it ever got talked about in a different way or if it got resolved. The main character felt guilty and felt like it was her fault. I didn't like how the blame was put on her so much, or even like the friend group. I just think that the message was a bit lost here. And then we have the Tea Dragon Festival. Oh my gosh, this was really cute. It's a graphic novel, but it's super short, especially this one is really short. It was adorable. I really enjoyed the artwork. And then we have Verity by Colleen Hoover. What? Really? 4.42? Guys, okay. Yeah, I mean, it was okay. It was like 3 stars for me. Yeah. That's fucked up. That's what I said. Okay, that's really funny. Yeah, curiosity kept me going through. I don't think I was expecting such a traumatizing storyline from Colleen Hoover, just because I didn't know that's the type of story that she writes. Was this necessary? I don't know, I have my doubts. Legend Born, yeah, I do agree with that, 4.41. I think it was a great debut novel, maybe a bit overhyped, but I think it was really good. Unfortunately, I don't think it needed to be a series. And it also has a sort of love triangle. And I'm like, no, why? We don't need that. Guys, stop with the young YA and love triangles. It's so annoying. I don't want my children to be reading like YA with love triangles and think that's what a love life usually looks like. Because there's just so many YAs with so many love triangles. well, with triangles. Then we have Ace. Yeah, I do agree, it's a nonfiction about asexuality, and yeah, I think it was really well written. It had really good points, and it did give you different perspectives on what asexuality could look like, and I think that was really interesting. And then we have The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. No, guys, 4.37? What? I'm sorry, but out of her, like, I enjoyed the series a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. I think if I were to reread it, I probably would think it's ridiculous and it's problematic in a lot of ways. But that's not what we're talking about here. But I think out of the 3 books that she had published in that series, this was definitely the worst one, right? What? Like the snake and all that? Like, that was out of nowhere. And I think probably the second one was my favorite. And then we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Yeah, 4.36. I get it. I've heard a lot of people loving this book. A lot of people are continuing with her series. Oh, the author is Holly Black. No, I said series, not Siri. Series? How am I supposed to say it so you don't... Yeah, I'm not sure I understand. I'm not sure I understand. Okay. Shush. So I enjoyed it, but I don't know, sometimes the subject matter is a bit too intense for me, and I don't always think that it's dealt the right way. I think that maybe things are not necessarily said that I wished that were said. So I think it was good. I understand why a lot of people like it. I understand why a lot of people are continuing with the series. I just think that that was enough for me. Like, I read it, enjoyed what I enjoyed, and other parts I didn't necessarily enjoy everything. But yeah, I was good with just stopping right there. But I would be interested in seeing what other books she has coming up that are not part of this series. And then the next one is The Emperor's Souls by Brandon Sanderson. That was actually, I think, a novella I read a long time ago before before I even knew about Brandon Sanderson. So it's really funny that I've read something from him when I've been trying lately to read so much of him. I have like middle grade, a young adult, and an adult book from him, and I still haven't read any of them. But it's funny to think that I've read a novella without knowing that it was him, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was great, but honestly, I was lost. I had absolutely no context for this story, but it was good. And then we've got some more Sarah J. Maas, some Holly Black. Okay, number 2, that's what I'm saying, guys. And then we've got Aiden Thomas, Cemetery Boys. Yes, I agree. I would even bump it more than 4.33. Come on, guys. This was a fantastic read. I just love their writing style, and the story was beautiful and so heartwarming at times, and obviously quite sad at other times, but yeah, I think it was a beautiful story for sure. And then we've got a graphic novel. I didn't really enjoy it. Big Little Lies, fair enough. Orange Again, some Rick Riordan, that makes sense. I mean, all those authors, you know, most of them are super famous, I get it. Okay, then we've got Kings of the Wild with 4.29 by Nicholas Eames. Why? Why, guys? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think I'll just say that it wasn't my humor, and so because this book had a lot of humorous part, it was not for me. It was not for me. Plus, it had some plot armor which I dislike, so not for me at all. But I can't say that I get it though. So, and then we've got The Witcher. So we've got Sword of Destiny. So Sword of Destiny was really good. It's part of his 2 collections of short stories. I think I enjoyed The Last Wish better, but I would reread Sword of Destiny. So that's how I know that I really enjoyed the books. And then we've got some Agatha Christie, I get that. And then we've got The Witcher number 3, Baptism of Fire. And I totally agree that this was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. But the series, the actual books in the series, not the short stories, it went from like here, like this, and then it was really bad. I really hated the rest of the series. But Baptism of Fire was my favorite, I think. And then we've got some Sabata here, a Number in the Ashes. It was good, but not my kind of fantasy. The Last Kingdom by Bernard Cornwell. This, I loved it so much. I haven't continued in the series. Should I continue? I just thought that where it left, it was great. I don't know, maybe I'll pick up something else from him. I don't know. And then we've got some Pierce Brown, Red Rising. I really enjoyed it as well. Okay, well, okay, shall we stop here? So I think I've been filming for about 20 minutes as well. So same length as what I gave myself for the last video, so I'm gonna stop right here. If you haven't seen the part 1 of this video where I check out what the worst books were according to Goodreads, make sure to do so. Let me know if you read any of those books and which one you enjoyed, which one you agree with Goodreads, which one you agree with me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this where I react, just let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!